have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that travel. Passports up, everything else down. Facts up, everything else down. It's the man, the myth, the legend. My name is Yesh. Salute to y'all, man. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna be on here for long. You already know how I get down. Just been chilling, long day, watching the WNBA right now. Let me mute this. Let me see. Let me try to mute this. All right, we good. Um, Man, it was a tough day, man. I'm tired. I'm so tired. But salute to everybody who, Brother Zeke, what up? My videos are starting to gain traction again. I guess I'm dropping gems on a lot of them. Um, I salute everybody for watching. You know what's crazy? People try to make people who are not intelligent seem as if they're intelligent when they're saying some of the most irrational things in the world. Oh man, it's just crazy when you think about it, man. They say some of the most incoherent drivel that you can think about, but again, they sound good to a bunch of people that don't know. There are a couple of videos going around where appreciate that, Mr. Zeke. Brother Zeke, appreciate it, man. Salute, brother. There's a couple videos going around that, like, I guess you never know. Today it's going. Yesterday it was about 50-50 conversation. Today it's about um, when somebody talk to somebody and they don't like it, and the guy cuss them out. You're supposed to be responsible. It's just like, and the conversation, and y'all let women. And again, when you know the numbers, you lose the anger, right? When you know the numbers, you lose the anger. If you don't like logic, you're going to get angry. Let me say that again. What up, expat? When you don't like logic, you're still going to be in your feelings. If you're not a man of logic, you're still going to be in your feelings. When you look at how many women frequent, and this is why I do these videos and put these numbers out so you guys can have this. So you can't be on a stream sounding dumb. You guys say the same thing on every stream that you're on. And I do these videos, put out these numbers so you can listen to it, take it in, and then spew it back. And then be concise with what you're saying, because you know I've done my research, right? Let me give you two things I spoke about. He said those conversations are goofy. Yeah, Brother Zeke, I agree. But they do it. Hit that thumbs up if y'all just coming in here. People don't like me because I'm up front. I remind them of their father, their uncle that they never had. So a lot of guys don't like me. They hate my guts. Instead of them like joining me, trying to like show love, they try to have competition with me. They try to be in competition with me, and you're not there. You want to chill. Y'all still didn't hit the thumbs up. It's crazy. Uh, a lot of them want to chill. They want to have fun. Um, they want to have fun. They want to. They want to go to parties and different things like that. And I'm like, okay, that's understandable. You want to go overseas, you want to travel, but while you're working on your business, while you're at your job or anything like that, you need to pay attention to certain things so you can have this information so it can alleviate the sense of that substance of frustration, that sense of frustration, that substance of frustration. Damn, one got in there. Damn, damn. So that sense of frustration, and that's what's happening. You see what I'm saying? So this is exactly why I put out those numbers. This is exactly why I do it. I put out those numbers on purpose. And I'm flooding the internet with information from now on. Y'all see, I've been on a barrage. And I don't care about what women get mad because we go overseas. I don't care about that stuff. Every once in a while, I do videos like that. Nah, yeah, we done that. I did that for 10 years. Those videos don't get me nowhere. Y'all didn't big me up. Y'all didn't share them. We off that. We off that. We talking about knowledge. We putting out information. We off that, right? We gonna keep chopping down these negative trees, right, with information. So if you guys are in a conversation, you could just spew it right then and there. Let me give an example, right? We know for a fact 50 million people go on a place like TikTok. 50 million, right? 50 million people go on a place like TikTok. We know. The United States of America have 50 million people that frequent TikTok daily. In that 50 million people, 61.4%, right, are women. 61.4% are women. 38.6% are men. So we know we're outnumbered already. The programming is in effect. So that's why I'm doing all of these mind videos. So we know the program is in effect. So we know 61.4% of them get online, women, United States of America. They get online, they watch all of the propaganda, they watch all of the negativity, they watch all the things. I hate men, I hate men, I hate men, I hate men. We know that it's only 30.6% of the males that's getting online. And we know that most men are hands-on as far as work. Let me repeat. We know for a fact that men are more hands-on than women. Women work indoors. This is facts. Women work indoors more than men. And when I say indoors, I'm talking about office settings. I'm talking about places where they sit down more. Men are on their feet in their totality in construction sites, labor jobs, and such. Now, are they women in these jobs also? Come on, stop it. You guys got to think. You guys got to think. So you get that. Smooth operator. What up, y'all? Yo, I just got back at the A. Salute to you, sir. What up? What up? Shout out to Jamel. What up, y'all? Indeed, the trucker gang. Exactly. Yes, that's a lot of Western flightless birds, wingless, being brainwashed from TikTok. Exactly. But we know you got to compete. But shout out to Jamel. What up, brother? But we know what we got to compete on, right? We know what has to happen. So out of those 61.4%, now think about this, 50 million people getting on there. Out of those 50 million, you got the viewership, but now who's making these videos for these women to look at, right? 55.3% of the videos created on TikTok are made by women. They more than half of the videos. To program, propagate, talk, and we all know women love to talk, even if it's called incoherent drivel. They still just want to talk. We know this. Even ladies know this. They like, yo, even ladies getting tired of other ladies just talking. We see the videos coming out. This one lady I saw did a video right before I went live. She said, ladies, we're the most terrible people on the planet Earth. And we get to use you see how they pick and choose? Like you always say, intersectionality, where we know that we are oppressed or against racism and patriarchy. But these are the same women that use the racism and patriarchy, right, to their convenience when they want to destroy a man. When they want to destroy men, they use that racism and patriarchal side to destroy men. We know this for a fact that they do. They use the same racism and patriarchy to destroy men. They'll get another man to do their bidding. They'll go to another man, yeah, this happened to me, this happened to me. Oh, could you help me? She putting a battery in that man's back. She putting a battery in that man's back. The same woman that said patriarchy, this happened to me. Now let me put a battery in this man's back. Even though I know I'm lying, I'm sensationalizing everything. Don't care. I just want that man harmed. We see a lot of that. They use that in dating and marriage and all of these different things, man. So he said, let's link up this weekend before I head back out on Monday. I don't know. Jamel, meet me at the cigar lounge. I'll probably be there for a couple hours. Then I got to head out. Just for last, what up? Looking for you to come to Rio for Carnival end of the year. Salute. Yeah, I'm going to Rio in a couple weeks. For example, Emmett Till. Yeah, exactly. Emmett Till and all of these people. There's so many stories. I'm talking about the mafia. We can look at the mafia and see what women were doing to men in the mafia. We can look in Harlem, Queenie and Bumpy Johnson, and all of that stuff, where people were getting harmed. No, not now. I'm talking about tomorrow. No, I can't go there now. I'm about to go to sleep after I get off this live. I worked hard, brother. No, but they should be there. I think they're throwing a party there, though, Jamel, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, man. Traveling Quadruple 4, what's going on, brother? Yeah, they throwing some get together. So it's gonna be people I don't know. So I don't want to go there tonight. Lower be out there though. So if you pull up, Lower be out there. Mo will be out there. A lot of cats will be out there right now. Yeah, I'll be there as soon as they open. They open at 12. They open at like 1:30. 1:30 in the afternoon they open. So you can slide through 1:30. I'll be there, just chilling, man. I'll only be there till like 3:30, and then I gotta go. So I'll be there. I'll probably be there longer than that. I'll probably be there longer than that. Yeah, that'll be better. I'll be there longer than that. Because I just want to relax tomorrow, and I want a 80 gauge cigar. So I heard they got new 80 gauges in stock now, and I haven't had a cigar in a week. That's what I told you. I'm weaning myself off slowly. But this is all I'm saying. I'm looking at it in that context. You understand what we up against as men. You guys are know why we always getting shouted down, why fellas can't compete. Fellas cannot, let me just say this. Fellas cannot compete with the amount of videos women make per day. Shall I repeat this? The propaganda videos telling women that all men are bad and all of these videos, you cannot compete with the level of delusion that's made in these videos. Kevin Samuels was about one of the only ones that can compete, and it's so few that they'll sit and listen to. It's so few and far between. Y'all have to understand that. You have to, you must. So that's why I was like, Kevin Samuels, that's why you see me do the video. Kevin Samuels was their last hope. He was their last hope. And then when you think about it, let's talk about this, right? I talked about this also, right? And you dudes got to watch what you're doing, because sometimes we do this, especially in relationships and marriages and friendships. Dudes do this too. Just like ladies can, like, you can say that emotional wise, if we look at the level of emotion, we see a lot more. They crack me up. They say every 9 seconds somebody gets assaulted, right? Let's just think about that, right? Let's just do the math. And I'm doing this off the top of my head. I don't even know. I heard that before I went live. Every 9 seconds somebody gets assaulted, right? So in 60 seconds, you're looking at 6.666. You're looking at multiply that by 368. You're looking at that. So that's 1440. But you're talking about a little 3 million and 29,000 some, right? So you're looking at about 3,029,000 and something. Y'all can check me in my math and see if I'm wrong, but it's a little over 3 million. If you say telling me that, and let's just take that statistic for face value. We don't care. Some other places might dispute those numbers. But if you're saying that out of 331 million people in the United States of America, and coming more, because as you see, we invited Afrikaners, we invited all of these people from different places, Ukraine. So those numbers are rising. Those numbers are rising. So if you're saying every 9 seconds somebody gets assaulted, you do your multiplication in that year, you look at the number, is 3 million. 3 million people get assaulted every year. And we know those numbers are high. They're astronomical, and we know that that's not happening because think about the unreported cases of men. Men get assaulted all the time and don't report the cases, right? So because they think it ain't manly to say a woman did something to you, so they just let it go. We see this often, and like people crack me up. So you can never be accurate on these numbers fully. But 3 million assault cases a year, right? 330 million people, 3 million and 30. You do the percentage of all of the millions upon millions of people living in the United States in 1 year. Everything that's happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're telling me that that number to you is going to be so much that we need to say that the world is falling in? You can't walk down the street because you're being assaulted. If I'm looking at those numbers, we should have way more deaths than we have homicides. We should have way more cases of your personal family, my personal family, and of nobody, women or men, being able to walk down the street. Being able to walk down the street. Now, if they say those cases are just for women, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie if you think that every 9 seconds a woman. I walk down the street here and see hundreds of people per day in and out of a building per day, high rise. And I know for a fact that I know these numbers. Is over 200 women in this building, and not one assault from one of them today. Not one. Over 200 women in the building, not one assault. Not one grabbing of stuff and anything. We'll know. We know first. Not one. That's what I'm saying. So it's just not safe for us and all of that stuff. We know this is a lie. We know they sensationalize everything. We know that 61.4% of them are online. They're going to leave comments in comment sections. That's why you see so many women online. Dudes don't be online like that. Because the very few of us be online and make videos, they think all of these men. That's why I was talking about the passport bros and the blue book gentlemen. Yo, man, we need to keep it silent and start making videos. Shut the up. Shut the F up. Out of 50 million people coming on, most of the content that's going online is gaming. It's gaming. It's talking about business. It's talking about relationships. You got to go through all of the millions of views from those before you can get to the smidgen of views from guys going overseas or making videos or going overseas. You dummy. You know how big the internet is, how massive it is. Yo, I don't think we should be telling people. I don't think we should be saying that. I think, shut up. 50 million people, you think 30 million of them are making videos going overseas. You think 20 million. You think 10 million. You're an idiot. You think 5 million, you're dumb. It's only a small increment amount. And look what we did with the small number of men that were talking about it. Going overseas. Now we got over 43 million men going overseas because the small number of us encouraged them. You saved one of these men from suicide, the feeling of suicide. You saved him from thinking that he has nothing left and he needs to get clowned by women who are around him, women that cover themselves with makeup. They don't even look like themselves when they get out of bed. They cover up everything, and you telling me I shouldn't do videos telling that man he should go overseas? They get up out of bed and cover everything on them. They cover their eyebrows, they cover their eyelashes, they cover their lips, they cover their nails, they cover their skin, they cover their hair. And I'm supposed to make that man feel bad about himself by not making the video, and it could possibly help this man to realize that, because he might not have the common sense or logic that I have or you. So I'm going to let that man wither away and make women make him feel bad, because he got to get on the internet and hear how terrible men are every day, because he might not have the friendships you and I have. He might not have the money, the wherewithal to get the money that he has, unless he see you traveling. He see you having fun. That's how this works. Men are visual. We like to see it. Because for us, we see it as possible. Women are more emotional. They have to go through something, or it has to affect their beauty side for them to go forward. Just think about that, yo. He said, keep spitting facts. Appreciate you, Jamel. Brother Zeke said, men will get laughed at. Exactly. They get laughed at if they tell they've been hemmed up by a woman. So this all I'm saying, man. Look at this. So when I spoke about this, and we got to get on this, you fellas can't go nowhere because y'all got to hear this clearly, because I got to make this. There's something called a false positive. You heard me break this down in the video. Let me do it in its totality here. And I'm got to run through it, and I'm not going to be able to stop, right? There's something called a false positive. A false positive means that I don't like A, or I oppose A, so I'm going to go to B. And when I go to B, B is something that I'm finding interest in, that I like, right? That I think I'm going to like. And when I get to B, I realize I don't like B. And neither did I like A, right? So I like neither. But I had the notion that I was going to like B. I'll give you an example. Same thing I said in the video. You don't like coffee, so you say, oh, well, I think tea might be a better fit for me. Coffee is too strong. You might have your coffee too strong. I think tea might be a better fit for me. So you run to tea, and you realize, yo, I don't like tea either. So not only do you not like coffee, you don't like tea, you don't like either. That's a false positive, because you thought you was going in a positive direction and you was going to find something you like, but you didn't. False positive. Number 2, a reactive preference. Let me repeat, a reactive preference. This is when you hate A, you despise A, you don't like A, right? So you say, yo, I'm going to go to B just because I don't like A, and I know A is going to be opposed to B. They're in opposition of each other. I'm just going to grab in it because I don't like A. And I can't stand A. No significant reason, no nothing. You just don't like A. So you go to B. This is an example. You don't like a particular individual that you've seen online. You say, yo, I'm not going to like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. You don't know nothing about him. All you know is the little things that you see on the internet. You know nothing about this person. But you run to somebody that you think you're going to like just in listening to him, knowing that you don't like that person, knowing that you don't want to be around him, knowing that he don't even have the same decorum. He don't have the same discipline. He don't move like you. He don't do nothing. You just listen to him because you don't like this person over here. That's called a reactive preference. And that right there, sir, is very dangerous. But let's keep going. The last one, the third one that we have is in an informed affinity. And I kept saying it wrong in the video. That's why I kept putting it in there. Informed affinity. This is when you don't like something about A, not that you despise it or hate it, but you're like, yo, I've studied it, I learned it, I know about it. Well, let me move to B. And you move to B because you learned about the values, the traits, the everything about it, the overall perspective about B. So you say, well, let me move to B. And so you move to B, not that you despise A, but you found some incentive in B. You found some incentive in B. So you say, let me go over here. I'm not going to say I don't like you. I'm not going to, that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm saying I found this. For instance, let me give an example of that. Something sold quick. What I said in the video. You look at McDonald's. You say, yo, McDonald's got all these pesticides. McDonald's is wasteful. McDonald's got all this junk in it. McDonald's is unhealthy. So you go over here. You say, not that you hate McDonald's, because you might eat it every now and then. But you go over here in its totality. You look at here. This is your new focus. This is the way you want to be. Because you looked at the Mediterranean diet. And you say, oh man, better nutrients, better fiber, better enrichment, better flow, better essentials. And you can even do the same thing as a vegan. This is those three things of how we operate. And we do this in relationships. You will see dudes do the false positive in relationships. Everybody does it. You cheat on me, now I got to get you back. That right there is a reactive preference. You did something to me who should have been my friend, now I got to go to your enemy. That's a reactive preference. Instead, you're saying, dude, I just don't mess with you like that. No hard feelings. What grown men do. The grown men take you know when you're mature and when you're wise, most of the decisions that you make are an informed affinity. Let me repeat. Most of the decisions that grown men make, working on their anger, working on their personality, working on all of that, right? You work on it and you genuinely work on it. You don't just do it for kicks and giggles and say you've done it. No, you know you change when people come around. When you come around, they're like, yo, damn, man, I miss you coming around. That's how you know people F with you. Grown men operate from, first, the informed affinity. Secondly, they operate from a false positive. So first, informed affinity. Second, and then we stay away from that other one, that reactive preference. We stay away from that. That right there is what the women do. The women operate off the reactive preference. Let me repeat. Women operate off a reactive preference. Not you as a grown man. I don't care if you're picking a baseball team. I don't care if you're doing what. Grown men operate from informed affinity and false positive because we get to learn from our mistakes. And you say, yes, why? A formed affinity means that you study something. You looked at your friendship and say, yo, that dude is not my friend. You looked at your job and say, that is not my job. You looked at your customer base. I don't want these people around, right? That's what you do, informed affinity. Then you go over here and say, well, I want these customers. I want these people. I prefer this environment for my business instead of in the hood, in the ghetto. You say, they cool with doing them, but I'm going to go over here in this nice little area and have a nice boutique that isn't going to get the door kicked in or robbed or anything like that. That's a formed affinity. And you might go eat good fried chicken in the hood. So you got nothing against the hood because that's the way the people live. You choose not to live like that. You choose not to put your business there. Informed affinity. Or the false positive. When you learn, you thought it was a good idea to put your business in the hood. You thought, hey, Chinese people do it, I need to do it. Right? You thought it was cool to put your business over there, and you realize, nah, my style of restaurant, what I looked into now, right, to get to the formed affinity, you have to go through, sometimes you got to go through the false positive to get to the informed affinity. Actually, you have to get to the false positive to get to the informed affinity. You can skip the reactive preference. You can skip that. You can skip that. But you have to go through those two things as a man or a human. So you realize, yo, I thought I was going to like over here, but it didn't pan out for me in the ghetto putting my business there. It panned out for me over here in the suburbs. I'm doing very well. That right there, sir, is a false positive. It's false on this end and it's positive on that end. You got an informed affinity. You were informed over here, and now you reap the benefits over here. It's affinity here. You reap the benefits of the information that you ascertain with trying to divulge yourself to something different or place yourself, your mind, your thinking, your thoughts, your understanding, your comprehension over here to culminate a result that will end up better. Hence the term affinity. So that's all I'm saying. But appreciate you all. I wanted to drop those gems. Every day I'm coming with heat. I'm coming with mental heat. So y'all might as well not listen to this if you mongers, if y'all ain't gonna like this. So when I do come, I'm gonna give y'all the business. Y'all don't want to think? Y'all think y'all know it all? Cool. As you see, I hear y'all on these platforms. Y'all don't know how to speak. Most of you all don't know how to speak. You don't know how to communicate. You regurgitate the same thing and you have nothing new to present to a panel. You don't. I listen to your live streams and I'm like, these dudes sound like idiots. And you think you want to make a coherent argument against women that are well versed? Oh, dude, you got something else coming. That's why when I go into a room, they hate me coming. They hate me coming. Because they know if they say something dumb, incoherent, they know I'm going to jump on it. Not that I'm trying to be a contrarian. I'll agree with you when it logically makes sense. But if it doesn't, I'm going to disagree. I don't care what position I'm in. I don't care if you think I'm the lowliest of them all. No, I don't give a damn about none of that. Your position in life, what you have. Everybody know me. I don't give a hell about that. I'm about dudes trying to transform the way they think. Again, everything has been said, but saying it in a way has never been said. Everything has been done under the sun, but do it in a way that has never been done. That's your whole objective as men. If you're empty, if you don't have anything, it might take a lifetime to come to you. Hell, it takes a lifetime to understand the Bhagavad Gita. And I read it, them thousands of pages, and I was lost. I was lost. And I'm still thinking about what I read. That book is 2,000-3,000 pages. And I'm still lost. That book was so massive. That book is about like this thick. And when I sat down and started going through it, I was like, I'm not going to understand none of this stuff. But I tried. It was just all over the place to me. It sounded like incoherent dribble. It does. Dragons and this and that. I'm like, so where's this correlate? I don't know. But again, that's their religion. But other than that, all right, I'm out of here. Salute to y'all fellas. I might go live on TikTok real quick. Join me on TikTok. Brazil Yesh. Same name on here. You'll find me on there. I'm gonna do the green screen. Turn on my lights in here. Join me over there on TikTok. Peace.